Hey guys, it's Gianni, and welcome to the first episode on a video series called What's in Your Gym Bag. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is purpose in the knee sleeve. So here I have a couple knee sleeves that I'm going to show you about, and I want to talk to you about maybe some similar purposes that they have and maybe some differentiating purposes that they'll have. For example, in general, you'll find that a lot of knee sleeves, particularly in the powerlifting community, one of the big factors is protection. Why protection? Well, as you age and as you wear your knees, you're gonna want protection to keep it safe, specifically keeping it warm. I have two examples. I have some Mark Bell X sleeves right here, and I got some SBD knee sleeves. Both of these are 7 millimeters in thickness, but you'll find a difference when we look at, for example, the Gangsta knee sleeves. These are 9 millimeters. So for example, as opposed to these are good for training and competition, these are probably only good for off-season prep, or maybe if your training is leading up to reps for me. In elbow sleeves, specifically here, I have the strong elbow sleeves. You'll find that these are great for comfort in your elbows when you're trying to squat for any discomfort, as well as to protect the bicep for those that like to do strongman competitions or in training. Being able to keep your joints warm, whether you prefer to use sleeves in the squat, bench, or deadlifts, help because over time, as you're taking your breaks in between sets, or if you're choosing to wear it throughout your workout, you'll find that being able to keep the joint warm throughout your entire exercise or workout is going to be able to help you to have better longevity and just performance over time. The biggest takeaways that I had from someone I look up to, Ben Pollock, is that he used to take capsaicin cream or maybe tiger balm, and he would put it on his joint, whether it was his elbow or his knees, and after he put the sleeve on, it would help give that extra warmth to keep the joint from aching or any other pain you may have. Now, as a disclaimer, this is not something you can just widely apply to all types of injuries, as your injuries are definitely not always going to be the same as mine, which is not going to be the same as the next athletes. Go ahead and click on the link to know exactly what I'm talking about. I think Ben Pollock goes into great details of how this has helped him, and it was definitely a tip that I've used for several months in my training whenever I've gotten hurt, specifically with my knees. One thing to keep in mind about both knee sleeves and elbow sleeves is that they are not a cure. Just because you put on these knee sleeves or just because you put on these elbow sleeves, they do not solve your problems, they do not solve your pain, and they do not solve your technique issues. One of the things that we should always strive to do is to always perfect our technique and to always get better. And if we're always striving to get better, not just to get stronger, but to get better within our movement from point A to point B, that's what's gonna help us more in the long run. Just because you throw on a pair of knee sleeves or a pair of elbow sleeves on, it's not going to just skyrocket your lifts. It is not just going to take away all the pain. You need to constantly be perfecting your technique and getting better, and searching coaching and searching for people that you trust, you look up to, and people that can help you. The second part under purpose that I want to talk to you about is using knee sleeves to help indicate depth. I know this is something that I do. I've always done it from the start, and I know a lot of athletes use it within their muscle memory. Because when you throw on one of these pair of knee sleeves, it doesn't matter which one it is. When you spend weeks training in them, you're going to start to realize how much pinch behind the knee sleeve it takes, or how much stretch in front, whatever it may be. You're going to start understanding and have a muscle memory or feeling of what exactly you're expecting in a knee sleeve when you know you've hit depth. Now, just because I throw on a pair of knee sleeves or anyone throws on a pair of knee sleeves, it doesn't mean that's my only indicator or anyone else's indicator to know they've hit depth or have gone lower. But what I'm trying to say is, when I throw on my X knee sleeves, when I throw on my SBD knee sleeves or any other knee sleeves or elbow sleeves in that matter, it just helps you to know where you are in the movement in a bench or in a squat. And those that can relate to me know exactly what I'm talking about. So after evaluating what your purpose is for buying a knee or elbow sleeve, the next thing you want to look at is which type of knee sleeve is going to better suit your knee. If you're someone who is maybe not just squatting and wants to use it for some comfort and running, there's definitely other knee sleeves out in the market than the ones I've shown here that are great for that. I wouldn't necessarily want to go out running in my SBD knee sleeves, or especially not in my Gangsta knee sleeves if I'm trying to go for a run, or whatever your purpose or fitness goals may be. Now, when I was injured and I had patellar tendonitis in my left knee. Having extra support there really helped me to just get through my rehabilitation along with other corrective exercises that I've done and stretches. These ones in particular, the Gangsta knee sleeves, because they are 9mm thick, these were awesome and they were great in just giving me the extra warmth and protection that I needed in my knee. And then once I was able to feel more comfortable squatting bare knee, I realized that I didn't have to use these as much, and I was able to just go back to squatting the way I usually do in either one of my 7mm sleeves. But like I said, if you're someone who is going to be prepping to have a meet in wraps, then maybe having the Gangsta sleeves is a good fit, because then you're someone who's just gonna have to end up using more coverage over your knee. Now, knee wraps is a whole different world from knee sleeves and have different purpose, and there's so many different types of knee wraps that I'm not gonna talk about that in this video. Now, changing gears for a second and going back to the elbow sleeves, I can only speak from my experience and what I've talked to other friends or people that I know at the gym. For example, the reason why I got elbow sleeves was because I was looking for the added support in my bench. Before I really took the time to correct my technique and evaluate what I was doing wrong, I had a lot of elbow tendonitis, a lot of golfer's elbow, everywhere. I've had elbow issues before. I have experience in gymnastics, and not squatting right also made it worse for me to bench correctly. So I really was just looking for support. These are a size extra large, and I'm in the smaller end of that range. If I wanted a tight fit, I would have gotten a large, but that's the reason why I got these and decided to go at the smaller end of the range, because I'm just looking for that comfort. Now, if I try to slip these on, they're not gonna be hard at all. I don't have to do anything super crazy. I can just slip them on and I'm ready to go. But for knee sleeves, that could be different. In a powerlifting competition, you can get any size knee sleeves you want. If you can fit into an extra small pair of knee sleeves, but you normally wear a medium or a large, by all means, be my guest. You can try to get as much poundage off of them as you want. Is it significant? Not really. The rule of thumb that everyone, or that at least I always hear everyone say, is that you could probably get maybe 5 pounds more, but that's not the reason why I would recommend or the reason why I look to get a pair of knee sleeves. Alright guys, so the third thing I want to talk to you about is how to put on your knee sleeves. Here you're going to see me use my SBD sleeves to put them on the exact way SBD instructs you to put them on. It's kind of a tri-fold way where you fold up the top half and you also fold up the bottom lip a little bit, and then you can slide them up and undo them. Here you see another example again with the other sleeve where I just slide them down a bit, fold up a bit, you tug on it, and when you find it in the right position, you go ahead and you just slide it on. The second way you can put on your knee sleeves, and my favorite way to put on the knee sleeves, is you just simply roll them down halfway, and then when you're ready, you can tug on them into proper positioning. I'm just showing an example here with my X sleeves. So once I slide them up into position, I just roll them halfway up once. It's basically a simplified version of the way SBD tells everyone to do their sleeves. The next way you can put on your knee sleeves is using the exact same method as before, but this time we're going to go ahead and we're going to use assistance with our wrist wraps. The reason why some people do this is because when you want to size down a knee sleeve and you want to be able to get it up, instead of just struggling to get it all the way up to your knees, you can pull them and tug on them with the straps. Here, I'm not going to struggle with them because this is the right size for my knees. I use a size medium, and so I don't really need to do this for myself, but I know others definitely use this method. Be careful though if you try to do this in a competition, as I know in many federations assistance is illegal, so just make sure to look at your rule books before you try to do anything. But nonetheless, this is a great way of how to do them in training, so you don't have to struggle and waste extra energy trying to get them up. I will try to leave a link down to the description to give proper reference to the person who I learned it from. I know a lot of people have talked about it, but I try to find the original source. The last way you can put on your knee sleeves is the upside down method. I know some people like to do this as well when they size down and use a tighter knee sleeves. I personally don't like to use it. I actually find it to be harder, but nonetheless, some people like it, so I'm showing you the method. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it here with my Gangsta knee sleeves. They are a little bit thicker of a knee sleeve than your traditional knee sleeve, so this will purposely make it harder for me to do it, which I guess is the point if most people do it with size down. Here you put them on inside out, and then once you get a good hold on the top of the portion, you just slide them up all the way as you see as I did before. We're going to do it again. You just grab the bottom, or in this case it would be the top part of the knee, and you slide it all the way up until you get into the right positioning. You can see here that I'm actually struggling to do it correctly, and it's way too low, and I have to fidget a lot just to adjust it. So this is why I never use this method, but nonetheless, you can go ahead and try it and see if it works out for you. The easiest way you can put on your elbow sleeves, if you're someone like me and just buys it to be on the smaller end of the range for some comfort, you literally just slide them on and that's it. For a tighter elbow sleeve, just go ahead and roll them halfway down and tug them to the right positioning until you can unfold them. You may need to use a friend. Guys, if you like the content, please go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I will be making more informative videos in the future and some future vlogs, so be on the lookout.